Good morning, students. Welcome to our STEM lesson, Unit 15, Physical and Chemical Changes. In today's lesson, we'll be looking at what are physical and chemical changes, and we will learn how to differentiate between the two. We'll also find out how to identify chemical changes, because there are some things which are very specific and which are special in chemical changes, which do not happen in physical changes. And also remember to fill out the Google form for exit ticket, and remember to write a question instead of I don't know. In today's lesson, we'll be looking at physical and chemical changes. Before we start looking at what are the changes, we should know that everything around us is made up of matter. Everything is made up of matter. And everything around us, the matter, can be classified into three categories, that is, solid matter, liquid matter, and gas matter. Solid, we know what is solid. Okay, solid has a definite shape, it has a definite volume, it doesn't change its shape, and there are many other properties of solid. And we know liquid, liquid takes the shape of a container, water is a liquid, milk is liquid, we know many liquids. Gas, we all know what gases are. Gases doesn't have a definite shape, they're invisible, doesn't mean they don't exist, they are there, we breathe in, breathe out. So everything around us is made up of matter. Matter can be classified as solid, liquid, and gases. These solid, liquid, and gases, they undergo certain changes. And there are two types of changes. There are physical changes depending on what kind of changes they undergo, and there are chemical changes. So in this lesson, we should know what change is called physical change and what change is called a chemical change. Look at the picture in front of you and you can see lots of different activities. Say for example, you see someone chopping vegetables. Big carrot, he's chopping the carrot into smaller pieces. Now it's still a carrot. It's still a carrot and you can use it as a carrot. The first product was carrot, the end product is still carrot. It's a physical change. Look at the ice cream. Okay, ice cream is melted. What kind of change is that? Physical or chemical change? This is melting. From solid, it's going to liquid. If you put this ice cream back in the freezer, will it become solid again? Yes. So the first product and the last product are still the same. It's a physical change. Look at the glass on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, sorry. Okay. The glass is broken down into many small pieces. Okay. So what kind of change is this? It's the change in size? Is the change in shape? Do you think it's a physical or a chemical change? A new product is formed? No, we just have broken pieces of glass. It's a physical change. Look at the balloon. You blow the air inside the balloon, it gets inflated. Now, the balloon does not, it only changes its shape. No new materials are formed. So it's still a physical change. In physical change, changes appear in terms of their size, texture, shape. It may or may not involve change in state, like from solid to liquid, liquid to gas. Not all physical changes have change of state. Some physical changes have change of state. And no new substances are formed in physical change. So these are some of the things that you remember when you think about whether a material is undergoing a physical or a chemical change. Click on the link below to Watch a video about physical and chemical changes. From this slide, we will see what makes physical change and what makes a chemical change. We look at the slide on the left first. It's easier to follow. Now it says physical change. For example, you have a lemon here. It's an object. It's solid. Now when you cut the lemon, you slice it like they're showing in the picture, and once it's sliced, you can see there are slices of lemon. Now here, the lemon that was before slicing and after the slicing has changed its shape. It has not changed its taste. It's still lemon, can use it as lemon. It's just that it has undergone a change where it has undergone a change of shape, and we call this a physical change. If you look on the left, here it says chemical change, and look at the wood. We all know what wood is and what it looks like and what is it used for. Now, once you burn the wood, you see a fire, a lot of heat is given out, light is given out, water vapor could be given out, and once the wood is burnt, ash is given out. So here, before the burning of the wood, it was a wood, but after burning, it's no longer a wood, it has totally changed to a different substance. And this is called a chemical change. A chemical change is not, it cannot be reversed. A new substance is formed in a chemical change. From this slide, we look at many examples in our everyday life, and we see all these occurrences happening every day, and we will see what is a physical change and what is a chemical change. Say, for example, breaking a pencil. We have broken a pencil many times. Once you break a pencil, what changes it? It only changes the shape. You can still use the pencil, right? You may not put it back together, but you can still use a pencil, and it has changed only its shape. So that is a physical change. Baking cookies. Now, we all know how cookies are baked. For baking cookie, we need dough. We need flour, okay? Before that, we need flour. We have to add lots of ingredients inside, and then we have to make a dough, and then we have to put it in the oven, and finally, we bake the cookies. So, is the first product, the starting product, and the end product the same? Like wood and ash? No, it's totally different. Second question, can you bring back the flour from the cookies? No, the flour has changed to cookies. It's something else. So this, we call it chemical changes. We cannot bring our flour back. So this is a chemical change. Now look at ripening bananas. Okay, we all have seen bananas, and we know it's like green when it's raw, and then yellow, and then finally it becomes very, very mushy, and it's very ripe. Why has it become ripe? Because inside the banana, certain chemicals have reacted and they have changed their composition, and you get the ripe banana, which is a chemical change. Can you get the raw banana back? We cannot. Okay, so this is a chemical change. Now look at boiling water. You can say that boiling water is a chemical change because it's changing. It's from water, it's becoming steam. Let's look at this example closely, okay? Now, water is boiling, so from liquid, which state is it going to? It's becoming water vapor, it's becoming steam. It's only changing the state. From liquid, it is becoming gas. And from gas, it can also become rain and come down as water. So this is a physical change. It is a change of state. That means from liquid, it is going to water vapor. And water vapor, we know the cycle. It can come down. If you close the lid, the water vapor will condense and it will fall down as liquid. We all know that, right? If you have hot milk, if you cover it with a lid, the water vapor, you will see the lid is all water liquid inside. That is the steam that is condensed into liquid. So that is a physical change. Crushing a can, physical or chemical? Of course, physical, because it is only undergoing a change of shape. Now, cutting an apple. Cutting an apple, you will say, it's changing shape, like our lemon example. But sometimes the cut apple, if you keep it for a long time or even a short time, you will see brown skin on the apple. Have you all noticed that? The apple turns brown very fast. Why does the apple turn brown? Because, okay, it reacts with the air and it undergoes a chemical change and it turns brown. So the browning of the apple will be a chemical change. Same like rusting nail. We have all seen nails, the new nails, but after a long, long period of time, they become rust. That means the iron reacts with oxygen in the air and it becomes all rusty, it becomes all brown. And this is a chemical change. Now, digesting food is again, we know the food that we eat, it goes inside the stomach, comes out as poop, and it is a chemical change. Can we get the food back? We cannot. In chemical change, we cannot get the first product back. The change is irreversible, like frying an egg. When you fry the egg, it's no longer an egg, it becomes omelette. It changes its shape, it changes its taste, it changes its composition, and everything. So it's a chemical change. Again, here there are a few more examples of physical and chemical change. Cutting a cloth, what would you say? Is it physical or a chemical change? Of course, it's a physical change. The cloth is still the same, it's just that it has changed its shape and size. Molding clay. First, you had a ball of clay, now you mold it into something else. Is any new material formed? No. It's a change of shape and it's still a physical change. Melting butter. First, you had solid butter, now it's a liquid butter. Do you think it's a chemical change? No, it has only changed its state. From solid state, it has gone to liquid state. If you put this liquid butter into the fridge or freezer, it'll solidify again. So these are again physical changes where no new material is formed. Look at the other page where it says chemical changes. We looked at this example before. In this bowl, we have the rice flour, we have the baking soda, we have water, we have sugar, we have all that we need to prepare a cake. We have to mix it nicely, put it in the oven at a certain temperature, and we get this yummy cake. Do we have a new substance? Yes, definitely we have a new substance. From flour, we have a cake. So this is a chemical change. Everything has changed. It has changed. The flour has changed color, shape, order, structure, texture. Everything has changed and it is transformed into this beautiful yummy cake that we can eat, and it's a chemical change. Now look at this rusting. Rusting is very common in every household. You can even see it at school or anywhere wherever there is iron, and you see that is the new lock, and after rusting it becomes very corrosive. It has corroded. What happens? The iron combines with oxygen and moisture in the air and it becomes like this. Now you can tell Mrs. Desai that yeah, if I clean it the rust will go, but then again this is something happening to the iron. Once the iron gets rusted, it becomes thinner and thinner and thinner. It is a chemical change which takes a longer time, but it kind of melts or softens the iron, and it's a chemical change. In chemical changes, few things are happening. Sometimes heat is given out. Here is the example of wood being burnt. Wood is solid, but when you burn it, a lot of heat is given out, fire is produced, you can see the light, you can see the smoke, sometimes ash is given out, water vapor, everything, so many things are given out. And finally, it becomes ash. One more important thing, that you cannot get the wood back. So this is a chemical change. In chemical change, heat could be given off or heat could be taken in depending the type of chemical change is happening inside. Look at this slide. Many students think that burning candle is a physical change. Let's look at the picture and tell me what's happening, what is given out. Is heat given out? Yes. Is light given out? Yes. Is little water vapor given out? Yes. How can you know? If you put a glass on top, do not cover the candle, but if you put a glass on top, the edges will become moist. So you know a water vapor is given out. Ash is given out? Yes. The wick, it can become sometimes the wick can give out the ash. You can see the black soot on the candle. If the wick is too long, you can see the soot very clearly. So there are certain changes which are part of chemical changes happening here when the candle is burning. As the candle burns, there is something called carbon in the candle which reacts with oxygen and it becomes carbon dioxide, and the candle gradually becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. And at one point, the wax melts and there is no more wax, and you cannot change it back to wax again. The residue is like, hardly nothing is left once the candle is burnt. So, this change would be a chemical change. Goodbye, and remember to do the Google Form exit ticket.